After Season 5, Episode 13, Give the World Away, there is only one more episode of Yellowstone. And given what happened or didn't in the penultimate hour, the final episode has a lot of ground to cover. The Dutton family is the subject of the neo-Western drama on the Paramount Network. The Duttons are at their lowest point in the second half of Yellowstone's last season thanks to the death of their patriarch, John Dutton. The possibility that they would lose the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch, and the murder of Colby Mayfield, one of their ranch hands, in Episode 12. Regretfully, the family's issues were not resolved in Episode 13. With the exception of Jamie, the characters in Yellowstone Season 5. Part 2 battle valiantly to rescue the ranch and give the world away. They try to earn enough cash to cover their taxes. It will never be sufficient though, as they require more money than anyone could ever imagine in order to keep their land indefinitely or for many years to come, at the very least. However, Kayce's enigmatic scheme at the close of Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13, offers a ray of hope. In Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 12, Kayce threatens Grant. In Episode 13, he turns his attention to preserving the ranch. After ensuring his family's safety and well-being in Counting Coup, he maybe devises a plan to defend his family's property and give the world away. Regretfully, near the end of the hour, Luke Grimes' character doesn't reveal his entire strategy. Kayce teases his notion with his sister though, and she quickly realizes that he is trying to preserve their house. Kayce poses a hypothetical query to Beth: would the sales tax be determined by the amount he paid or the car's worth if she sold him her $300,000 vehicle for just $1 and he registered it? Beth assured him it will be what he paid for. But she's a little perplexed. Kayce brightens as he finds the solution he seeks. He gets into his vehicle and leaves. Beth, meantime, gradually starts to grasp what Kayce is trying to say. Kayce appears to have located someone, perhaps Chief Thomas Rainwater, who is willing to purchase the Yellowstone for a very low price, who she asks her brother after forcing him to stop the automobile. Kayce advises her to wait a day so he can make sure the Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2 episode concludes with Kayce informing Monica that they must sell the ranch after Beth thanks her brother and gives him a cheek kiss. Kayce appears to have located someone, perhaps Chief Thomas Rainwater, who is willing to purchase the Yellowstone for a very low price. The Duttons wouldn't be in nearly as much debt as they are now, and the property's taxes would drop dramatically as a result. In Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13, Beth holds an auction at the ranch prior to Jamie teasing her about his plan. In order to make sure Travis fulfills his pledge to sell the Yellowstone show horses for the highest price, she spends half the episode in Texas. Yellowstone, played by Taylor Sheridan, is a great negotiator despite being a bit wild and a party animal. Beth then drives him back to Montana, the location of the major auction. If Beth, Rip, and Kayce even hope to save their family's property, they need as much money as possible. They consequently sell almost all they own, with the exception of the land. The auction includes livestock, horses, and other items. The Duttons have little over $30 million at the end of Give the World Away, which only lasts them a year. Fortunately, in the penultimate episode of the neo-Western drama, Kayce has a scheme that guarantees the Yellowstone remains in their possession. In Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13, Jamie receives little screen time, as in previous episodes. His few sequences, meanwhile, are crucial to understanding Wes Bentley's character's future. Detective Dillard and his crew enter the Market Equities building at the start of the hour with a warrant in order to search the entire building, including Sarah's office. Jamie is worried since the police are getting closer to finding out the truth. It also doesn't help that Jamie's affair with Sarah and proof that he would profit from the Yellowstone development proposal are being leaked in the news. He thus seeks Christina's assistance. In Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2, Jamie comes clean to his child's mother about his involvement in John Dutton's assassination, although he was aware of Sarah's role. Jamie is advised by Christina to hold a news conference. he must start looking into the deaths of John and Sarah in Yellowstone Season 5. Jamie also has to make it clear that he worked closely with Sarah to praise his father, deny the affair, restore the development, and intimidate those who implied it. Jamie departs with a new task which will have to wait until the conclusion after thanking Christina for her guidance. When Kayce returns home from his journey at the conclusion of Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 12, he tells Monica that he made sure that Grant, or anyone else, wouldn't be following them if they left the Yellowstone. Kayce reveals that he has been attempting to leave his entire life when Monica asks him whether they are indeed leaving. It appears that Kayce is adamant about leaving his duties at the Yellowstone. Initially, he will ensure that his sister and brother-in-law do not forfeit their farm. At the party at the ranch, Kayce and Monica later dance and declare that they must create as many memories as possible before departing. Thus, it appears that Kayce is adamant about leaving his duties at the Yellowstone. Initially, he will ensure that his sister and brother-in-law do not forfeit their farm. Just in time for the Yellowstone series finale, Kayce's narrative might be making a full circle. In Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 12, Teeter is devastated by Colby's passing. Teeter doesn't know how to mend the hole in her heart after he leaves her right after she tells him she loves him. Teeter is not comforted by the other ranch hands' attempts. Beth clarifies that while the men are attempting to resolve Teeter's issue, hers is irreparable. Beth provides her with the listening she needs in Give the World Away. But as Beth stated, Teeter's sadness will last the rest of her life and her condition cannot be solved. Beth takes Teeter to a posh bar that is packed with transplants and tourists, all of whom Beth finds intolerable. She thinks it will help Teeter, so she goes there when she's upset. Teeter feels a little better when they rip apart each man who approaches them at the bar. But as Beth stated, Teeter's sadness will last the rest of her life, and her condition cannot be solved. In Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2, the majority of the ranch hands intend to depart the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch following the sale. With the exception of Lloyd, Rip advises them all to look for new employment because there is little to no work left for them there. In order to restore the ranch to its former splendor, Rip tells Lloyd that he wants him to be present. Since Lloyd has lived in the Yellowstone for 43 years, accepting Rip's offer is likely the simplest choice he has ever made. In Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13, Carter and the others want to look for other employment after the sale. The Duttons are Carter's family, and he is only a child. It makes reasonable that Carter and Lloyd would remain at the property. Even though they have a lot of other issues to deal with in the finale, it's possible that Beth and Rip may eventually adopt Carter. In Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13, the Duttons get John's body from the medical examiner's office. Beth demands that they have a funeral for her father because she is still very devastated by his passing. She does not, however, want it to be a large, ostentatious event attended by strangers. Beth prefers a small ceremony instead, which is probably going to happen in Episode 14. But before the auction, the ranch pays tribute to John and Colby. Hundreds of people watch as a speaker praises John and Colby in a speech. Teeter and Kayce also ride horseback, dragging another horse without a rider, which surely frees up space for John and Colby. In the Yellowstone series finale, John's actual burial will probably be much more tragic, even if the entire situation will make everyone cry.